What is up, everybody? It's Captain here, and with me today is Twinn with two N's.
All right. Yes, with two ends.
With two N's, and
Yes.
he has chosen the topic today, and the topic is what it's like to be a small YouTuber, which is quite an interesting one because probably
Oh, I
everybody
thought
who watches this is a small YouTuber.
I thought we were going to do fetish and kinkwear.
Dude, don't get me started on fetish and kinkway. I know my way around that. I've been to Manchester's Chinatown, okay? I know the shit that goes on in those back rooms.
Oh well, you've already introduced it now as a small
Oh,
YouTubing.
yeah. Oh, well, we'll have to save, like, fetish stuff and all that for later. But we're talking about being a small YouTuber, which is quite fitting because I've just reached 130 subscribers, like, I don't know, 2 days ago.
hmm
What are you on? What are you on, sub-wise?
Let me check. I believe the last time I looked, it was 253 and falling.
And falling. Jesus Christ. Well, you're on more
Yes.
than me, for crying out loud. Dude, the thing is, though, your content is not... What's the best way to put it? See,
Good.
no. You see, your content is good, but there's a way I'm supposed to put it, which won't. I'm trying not to insult the other people who, to be honest, really need to be insulted because they sell out. But you have content that isn't just being a moron. Whereas I know people who went from 0 subscribers to like over 1,000 to almost over 2,000 in like 3 months just by doing stupid noises and stupid voices. Boom,
Yeah.
there you go. It's like, oh fucking, oh, you're a YouTuber, are you?
Yeah. No, that's exactly what we were trying to avoid when we started it. It was a case of we could sell out and shout and scream and do all the PewDiePie stuff, but we'd rather it be more about us. Like we knew from the start, if we made it more, I don't want to say real, but real, as opposed to just acting, then we'd have a more niche audience, but it would be more authentic, and we could actually,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have to be a performance every time. We'd enjoy doing it because all we do is sit down on a sofa and chat bollocks for 2 hours and, then upload that onto the internet. It's just like being down the pub, essentially. So we
Sounds
enjoy it
just
more.
like my life. Sat around talking bollocks for 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so we didn't sell out in that fashion.
See,
And I'm glad of it.
I've noticed in some of my videos that have kind of got the ones that aren't Fallout, because a lot of my Fallout ones get attention. So a lot of the people will be like, "Hey, I loved your Fallout build and all that kind of stuff," which is what I like. Because when it comes to gaming, if there's any form of building in it, I'm like, buy main story. I'm just focusing on the building and stuff. But I've noticed on some of my other ones, the ones where I've been tired or hyper, which has caused me to try and be which has caused me to be an idiot basically and do stupid voices and stuff, have got the most traction, which is really kind of sad because I remember when, I remember when YouTube began, which is making me sound old now, but fucking when YouTube began, it was just admittedly a lot of stupid animal videos and all this kind of stuff, and then people came along and did sensible things, or they did, like, they kind of did like an online Jackass, which was kind of interesting. So, being an idiot has kind of stayed with YouTube to get the most views and all that kind of stuff. But I noticed for like 2 years, the people who got the most attention were the ones that actually had something to offer, not just, I'm doing a video game. It's like none of that, like that shit just disappeared, and people were like, oh my god, this video is quite spectacular, and then something happened, and we're just like, oh my god, the fat guy fall over again, and it's like, depressing. It's depressing.
I do find though that those people that do put more effort and time into their videos and upload less because of it do still hit the large numbers in terms of views. Depending on their size, they'll often hit 1 million plus. Like Tom Scott, I don't know if you're subscribed to him, puts a lot of time and effort, and it's quite interesting, educational, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
he'll always get a few 100,000, if not close to 1 million views on that video, because it's not just some crap that he's pumping out as quickly as possible. It actually engages people without overloading them with too much content that's crap, basically.
Well, it's like, what's his name now? People like Soviet Womble, who have both stupidity, exceptionally long editing periods to the point where it's months at a time because he edits everything like frame by frame, and also at the same time he's got like a bit of sensibility behind him. He's the kind of rare person you see on YouTube, but I don't know, we kind of lost YouTube itself to kids because they were just like, I want to watch Minecraft videos, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that's always going to be the way, though, with just the accessibility of YouTube, and obviously it's a younger platform, so it was always going to appeal to a younger audience. And as soon as people start figuring out that they could do stuff on YouTube as well, which is exactly how I did it. Really, you just sort of think I could do this, then you're going to get the influx of young or just they're not terrible because they're young, but often terrible as well. YouTubers who are just going to go on Fortnite and scream into the mic, all this crap that they do, and that's going to just overwhelm everything that's on there. But then they will die quickly. The ones that don't put in the time and effort over a longer sustained period aren't going to last as long, unless they do get lucky, get that sort of large influx over in a short period that actually stay and continue watching, and then grow exponentially from that. Because that's the only way you're going to succeed on YouTube is when you start getting that ball rolling, and then suddenly you get that exponential growth. Once it's rolling, you're pretty much going to grow from there. But it's just getting that initial exposure.
Yeah.
That makes it difficult, to get that in the first place.
I mean, at the minute, my growth on YouTube is kind of like the Doodlebug, and if nobody knows what a Doodlebug is, it's a German type of bomb that was launched in World War II, which worked on a little pulse jet engine, so it'd go, and it was the things responsible for like bombing London and stuff. But they stop and start, and that's what I've kind of realized is happening with my channel, because I got up to 70. I got up to like 70 odd subs, kind of slowly, right? So it was a gradual kind of grow, and then it tapered out, and then I don't know what happened, but I went from 70 to 100 pretty damn quick, and then I tapered out again a little bit. So I stopped, started, and now I'm on 130, and see, this is the thing. When I say I've got 130 subs, a lot of people will be like, it's nothing, but 130 people have gone, I like that guy's stuff, I'm going to subscribe to him. And the thing is that I've got 130 subs, but I get more than just my subs watching my stuff. So obviously people like my shit, which is fucking hilarious because their standards are so low, it's unbelievable. But because it's my stuff. But when it comes to YouTube, I get stuck into this weird kind. I like the recording, I like the playing of the game, and then unlike you, I hate doing the editing. You love editing.
I love the editing. That's probably my favourite part. I mean, maybe that means I'm a bit of a narcissist, but I think the conversations that we have on our show are hilarious, and often we both forget things we've said during the episode, especially my friend Richard, who co-hosts it with me, because he drinks, he purposely gets drunk to do it. There is a sort of a fine line between him being comfortably tipsy and sociable and overly drunk and irritating. And once we pass that line, I've learnt to say, right, we've done for the evening now. But when I'm watching them back and editing them, I think it's a right laugh, and that makes the process more fun for me, because I think, how can I make this joke? How can I visually add to this joke, and I add like a little thing that I make in Photoshop or something, and a little jingle or something. I don't know. I just find the whole, once it's finished, I think it's just that sort of moment of satisfaction of that looks really good. I made that, this little 10-minute video. It's just like, really satisfying. I think that's why I enjoy it. I think it's just getting something made that you put out there. It's like, yes, I did that.
See, the thing is, I don't have a program to make like jingles and all that kind of stuff, which is really annoying because I'm a fucking audio engineer, and I've got absolutely, like, people will be like, but you should know the programs, and I'm like, yes, I know the programs, but they cost me an arm and a leg, so obviously I don't have anything to make music on, and there's probably something free out there that, I don't know, like, might be a little bit dodgy to me in my eyes. So, but like, I have nothing to make jingles and stuff, which is really kind of annoying, because I really want to make specific intro stuff to like because at the minute I do Fallout Raft, and then I do my though it hasn't been up in a couple of weeks, I think 2 weeks. I do a segment called Simply Awesome, which needs a jingle. It needs an intro jingle, and it really bugs me that it doesn't have an intro jingle, because if it had an intro jingle, it'd be so much more dope. But it just sits there. It's like an intro, and I'm like, let's jump into it, and then boom, straight into it, which I realized was a good thing, because I'm not sitting around like wasting everybody's time. I just get straight into the content. But at the same time, you know, if I could find some way of putting a jingle or a bit of music in it, then I'd do it. But most of the stuff that I realized would be good with it isn't royalty free, so you can't use it unless you buy it, which once again, you know, costs money. And I'm like, because when you start off doing YouTube, you want to spend the money, if any money at all, on the stuff that you use to record, not the stuff that you put into your editing, because you want to make sure that the quality of the video is good, and then you can work on the editing and the content stuff as you go. So I'm kind of stuck in this weird limbo of I want to do this stuff that I want to do, and I'm gonna announce it now. I might as well announce it now on the podcast, but I will be starting a second channel called Cosplayed, which is all about making cosplay and props and all that kind of stuff, because it's something that I love doing. Like I made. Have I actually got it with me? Yeah, I do. I dressed up as Ash Williams from Evil Dead for one Halloween, and I made the harness out of like a couple of belts and some super glue and some like fastenings for your curtains and stuff. And I love it. It's awesome. It's dope. I wear it every now and then like a weirdo, but I love doing that stuff. And I realized that I won't be able to like officially do Cosplayed as a channel until I've got all the stuff. So I need, you know, like the graphics and the cutaways and all, like I want to properly plan it out, and it's probably going to take a whole lot of my time, but it's just that I want to be more professional with, which means I'm gonna have to learn how to edit, and I hate editing. It's just gonna really bog me down.
Well, I think when any channel that you start, really, but because it's not like a traditional TV show where you need to have everything ready for the first broadcast, you know, because it's just a YouTube channel, you can just start at any point. So with ours, we had the basics, like our intro, or the obsolete logo that looks all fancy in After Effects and things. That wasn't made by me. That was made by someone called Trey Bennett, who basically released it as a free template that you can then, you know, modify your own. And he says, as long as you credit me, which we do, you can use it. So, you know, I didn't make that myself. I haven't got the talent to make something like that.
Yeah.
And then things like the intro and jingles and things like that, I improved over time, little by little, as time went on. So when we first started, it looks a bit janky and a bit sort of rough and rough cut.
Yeah, I mean,
and as we've gone on, it's got more and more. I don't want to say professional, but it looks more clean and sort of proper. But it's a slow process. It's not just like a big spike. Right, we're going to have everything ready and hope that lasts. It's a slow process of improvement for each time I edit, basically.
Well, yeah, like I'll say this now. Oh, I'm gonna throw a pen at my computer apparently, but I'll say this now. If anybody listening is like on the fence about getting into YouTube because they think they might not be able to, it's kind of like with Twitch. Like I used to stream every now and then, and it's the learning how to talk to yourself kind of aspect of it. If you don't have a co-host, it's learning how to just keep a conversation going with basically yourself, which if you're insane, works perfectly, because you can just imagine a co-host and then talk to that person. But
that would be ideal. I could then find
that
my
would
co-host.
be ideal. But like, if I go all the way back to my first videos, was basically all I did was I sat down for 20 minutes, maybe 30 max, and I rambled. I rambled continuously, so there was no like unused airtime, so there was no like silent gaps or anything, because I didn't know how to edit and all this kind of stuff. So I just rambled, And I didn't do like, I'm going to record for an hour and then cut it all up and paste it together. I just, boom, there we go, done it. If there was a little bit of graphics, I'll put the graphics on and upload it. That's it. That's all I did. And that's all you have to do when you start off on YouTube. You don't have to be like, oh my god, look, because I do spiral edits and chroma key and all. You don't have to. So if you're a new YouTuber or you're thinking about it, like, don't worry, because my beginning videos are absolutely terrible. Like, almost, I rewatch them every now and then, and Jesus Christ, are they cringy. Now, surprisingly, a couple of them have got over like 300 views or 200 views, which is just like, I have no idea how this happened. But it's just, you know, plus you can see how I've grown on YouTube. I mean, I started off with a shitty PC playing Empire at War and Space Base DF9 and a bunch of other shit stuff. Then I upgraded a little bit for like £100. So, you know, it's not the best, but, you know, it gets what it needs to do. And now I can record Raft and all this other kind of stuff. And then I realized, wait a minute, I have a PS4. So I recorded with my PS4, which is how I managed to do my Fallout stuff. And the thing is, I never would have figured that out. I would never went, how am I going to take this? I don't have a capture card. How am I going to take the stuff from my PS4 and like put it on YouTube and stuff? And then I realized, you know, I did a bit of Googling, and you can upload to your YouTube. You can link your YouTube to your PS4 and upload that way. And one of my mates on YouTube, called Avid Gamer, has and is still doing an entire Battlefield 1 movie by doing nothing but recording on his PS4, kind of like how Red vs. Blue recorded the original Red vs. Blue. So you know how like they just he's doing that, and he's making a movie on Battlefield 1, which I think he's either put out a teaser for it or he's doing it in episodic kind of style things, but it's really good. And I'm like, man, that's I wish I knew. Well, I wish not I knew, but I wish I knew I had the drive how to do this stuff when I first began. And it's just, I guess it's gaining confidence, because when you begin, you are basically talking to no one on the internet. You are just uploading a video of you playing a game and talking, which can be just like, you get this kind of thing in your head, like, why am I doing this? Like, what is the point? And then, you know, some people will be like, you know, I want to do YouTube to make money. Those people don't normally get that far. People who upload stuff onto YouTube because they're like, I want to make, you know, awesome content to the best of my ability, and hopefully people will like that. Those people end up going really far on YouTube. And to begin with, I was like, do you know what? This would be great if I could make money off it, but I'm not here to make money off it. Funnily enough, I made about 10 to 50 cents off it before they changed the monetization things, which was pretty funny. But then I realized I just want to make videos that are me being a fucking fool and like letting people laugh at me and shit, because I discovered a motto for myself, which is not only funnily enough, I don't know how this happened, but my ending catchphrase kind of thing became "Stay Awesome," which was just, I think I binge watched too much Bill and Ted or some stuff like that, and I got this weird kind of hippie vibe into my face. But like I noticed that "Stay Awesome" became my kind of thing, and bringing awesome to the universe kind of became something I started using. And it was all, you know, it was all about being awesome, and as Bill and Ted say, be excellent to each other. It wasn't all about, I want to make me some money, let's try and exploit people on the internet with shitty Minecraft videos. It was, you know, I want to make a dope ass video that nobody watches, but I'm like super proud of it. And if you have trouble finding that when you start YouTube, you will kind of lag behind a little bit, and it's not fun. But when you get into the swing of things, like you'll pick it up pretty quick. I mean, if you're a Luddite like me who just sat around doing fuck all, then yeah, you'll have trouble picking it up. But I was like, you know, I want to try and do this full time. So I, you know, pulled my fingers out of my fucking ears and started doing stuff, which I guess kind of made my videos better, but also giving me it's funnily enough, it's also giving me a strive to do some stuff in life as well, which is kind of really weird. Like how trying to turn a hobby into a job also made me better at life, I guess. I don't know, weird stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I would totally echo what you were saying about if you think about starting, just do it, because it's exactly what most small YouTubers do. They're just considering it. And again, pretty much everyone has little to no equipment to use. They've little experience on it, but they pick that up as you go along. It's not, again, unless you're going to university or college to learn this stuff, you're not going to know it, and no one else is that's going to start at your level. So, but these people have started and they have made a success of it. And if you don't start, it's not going to happen for you. So even if we had a pretty basic PC and a really cheap microphone, and we started with that, and it wasn't the best quality, but there was something there that we could build from. And as I say, over time we improved it with upgrading equipment, improving my editing, that kind of thing. But unless you start, you're not going to get to that point. And it's you're only going to get better as you go along, and you'll make things at the start that you're really proud of, that you'll look back in a couple of years' time and think, Jesus, how terrible was that? How cringy is it? But at the time, that was the best you can do, and the stuff you're making now is the best you can do. But in 2 years' time, it will be pretty mediocre. But that's the point of it. It's personal growth in it, and it's only going to improve for you. But you have to start that journey before you're actually going to get anywhere to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, I started with a PC that was 8 years old, so it was way obsolete to play anything. I had, what did I have? I had I think I just used my webcam microphone, and I had a shitty webcam because I did facecam stuff at the time. So I was like, and then I kind of grew out of facecam, but like that's all I had. I had a PC from 2010, 2008, 2010. So it's about 10 years old now. And that could barely run anything at the time unless it was like really old games, which is why I ended up playing Empire at War. And even now, I struggle. Like I have real big problems when recording, because I record with OBS. So I get encoding overload and all this kind of stuff, because my PC's still a bag of wank. It's like massively outdated. Like there's kids that buy PCs for like, the parents will get them a 200 quid PC or like 150 quid PC, and it's like 18 times better than my PC right now. And they're all like, watch me fucking play Fortnite and record it and get a bajillion views. And I'm like, right, okay, cool, you jets. But
yeah,
I still use that old piece of shit, and I could get some decent content. I upgraded it for 100 quid, which I got lucky because I made friends and got like an NVIDIA graphics card, like a GTX 560 or something. So it was, it was an old graphics card, but it was still pretty decent, which is like 100 odd quid still or something like that. It was like pretty dear when it came out, but it was like 100 quid now. And a German friend was just like, I've got a spare graphics card. I was like, what? He was like, here you go. And I'm like, okay. So he mailed me this graphics card, and like I know nothing about computers, so a bunch of my nerd friends on Discord were like, yeah, here's some computer parts and stuff. And recently, I've been like trying to find the most dirt cheap way to upgrade. Well, not upgrade, but like build a system for dirt cheap. And like my mate's like, here's a website that you can actually spec out what you want from a PC, choose the specific parts, and you can get it. You can pay in installments and stuff. And I'm like, that's pretty decent. I might go down that route. So like you don't. I've known a couple of people like who've gone, I was going to get into YouTube, but I just didn't have the equipment. And I've always gone, I basically started YouTube on a potato, and I've managed to get somewhere, and I do somewhere in air quotes, because I'm still nowhere with 130 subs, but I do love every single one of those 130 subs. Got to whore out to my audience right there.
Cringe.
Yeah. Which is funny because I do it every time. Every time I plug a video, or like, because I'm in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm in 5 Discords, right? Plus my Twitter and my, what is it now? Oh, Jesus Christ. You're trying to remember the name of something. It's the place me and you met. Jesus Christ. What's it called? Reddit, that's it. Jesus Christ. And my Reddit. It took me a fucking long time to figure that out. A brain fart, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I've got those places, and it still feels really weird being like, look at my video, watch my video, and like trying to plug
yeah.
it out. It's still weird doing that.
It
But
is one of the hardest things to do for me as well. It's self promotion. It just feels really, really like cringe. It's like, oh, why would anyone even like pay attention to what I'm doing? And that's probably why we haven't grown as quickly as I would have liked to. Is because we're just not putting our stuff out there. So the way around that I did was just literally advertise on YouTube. On YouTube via the AdWords thing they do. So like I've put a few £100 into the advertising for that, which is how we've got most of our subscribers, is just by advertising on other gaming videos and channels. They've seen like the trailer that we have for it, and they've gone, oh, they look quite good, and then subscribed. But the problem with that is that you're not necessarily building a subscriber base that has spent time watching videos. They've seen a minute trailer and gone, oh yeah, they look alright, clicked that, and then may have completely forgotten about it later on. So that's the problem with doing that. But they did provide us with a fairly decent amount of growth in a short space of time.
yeah,
For as long as you are advertising. But it is costly to do so. So in the end, I had to stop doing it because I just couldn't afford to keep doing that, because it does cost a fair amount to do. I think it's about, because you can, it's fairly simple unless you get really detailed. Like you can get away with just basic. Here's a certain amount of money, and spend this much a day advertising. But you can get into some real complicated algorithm stuff that targets specific people that have already watched specific videos of yours and so on and so forth. But by the by, it does cost money quite quick. I think as a rough estimation, we've probably paid about £1 per subscriber, I think.
ouch.
Yeah, so it is expensive to do. But we were playing games that no one's really Googling anymore. It's, the point of, at the time we were obsolete gaming because we weren't playing anything modern or up to date, because again, we didn't have the equipment that could both play and record it. So we were playing things like GTA 4 when GTA 5 was, everyone was playing that. We were playing, Uncharted 1 when Uncharted 4 and 3 were out. It was we were always behind the times in terms of that. So what we were selling is our personality, which is harder to sell.
Yes.
It always is, because as long as you're playing Fortnite, people are going to watch the Fortnite video because if they want to watch Fortnite, but they've not heard of you, so why would they give you a chance to watch your stuff? So it's a much harder sort of way to promote yourself if you're promoting yourselves rather than the games you're playing.
Yeah. I realized that, which is kind of why I stopped doing facecam, because I scare a lot of people in real life, because I have what everybody on the internet and everybody in real life calls resting bitch face, which is basically I have a blank expression on my face continuously, which doesn't work for me, because I actually do have like a kind of face that you want to avoid. Like I have the face that makes you want to avoid me, not as in he's ugly, as in he looks like he's going to stab me and all this kind of stuff.
If you're spotted in a park, parents just sort of career their children away from you.
No. If I'm spotted in a park, the SWAT deploy from the slide. That's like not as in he's going to fiddle kids, but as in like he doesn't look like he belongs here. Which is funny because it all basically comes around to the fact that I have a beard and long hair, and people aren't used to that. So, long hair, beard, and resting bitch face turned me into, that guy's probably going to kill me. Which, has not done a lot for me. So I noticed, like, when I was doing my facecam stuff, even though I was talking, I talk, and I'm probably doing it right now, but I talk with resting bitch face. Which basically just makes me look like some sort of weird, emotionless sack of just it that sits there trying to play a video, and like it got nowhere, because really my personality doesn't bleed through in facial expressions. It bleeds through in like my voice and my actions, and I was playing a game, so my hands were busy and my voice was the only thing changing and my face was just blank. So I think not a lot of people could latch onto that, and then I stopped doing that, and I started using my voice, and I picked up subs, which is funny because a lot of people, like I've posted to Reddit, and you always get those dick comments that are just. I got one dude who commented, I could only get through a couple of seconds because his voice was really grating, and I was like, I literally commented back, and I was like, thanks for watching as far as you did, just to be a sarcastic dick. because you know
Oh yeah.
there's always those people
Any
out
mean
there.
comments? Yeah, any mean comments you've got to come back with just being. I do it as being ultra nice and thankful for their support, like
Yeah.
in the most sarcastic way I possibly can. Because if you go off on them, you look like the dick.
Exactly.
You know, you're the channel that's trying to be friendly and appealing to people, and then if you go off on someone who doesn't like your stuff, you're just like, well,
yeah, you just like
clearly you can't handle a bit of criticism.
You're like, what are you doing?
Not
This
gonna waste
thing
my
is
time.
amazing. This is like God. This is gold. This is fucking. People will try and rob this from me, and in reality, it's just like it's mediocre at best. But you're just like, it's fucking gold. Why don't you love it? And like you try and ram it down the throat and stuff. But yeah, it's like if you're trying to sell your personality, you really, 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 really have to choose the best parts of your personality. You can't choose all of it, and you really like. It's okay for you because you've got a co-host, so you can kind of have like some objectivity from your mate who's like, I don't know about this, but I like that, and that's terrible. So you've got that. I have no one, so I have to like be my own. Like I have to be my own critic, and the funny thing is, not my friends, like the people I've known since I was a kid, barely watch my shit because they're sick and tired of me on a daily basis. So like, why would I want to watch a video? But for the people who are like, who are like, I like this guy, he's got some good stuff. Yeah, you would not. The people who like my videos would not be able to stand me at the pub. They'd be like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, he just won't shut up. Because as you can tell with if you've watched any of my other Captains Cove, I don't shut up. I ramble, and it does get me in trouble in real life. Does my rambling, and surprisingly, I have trouble lying, which is really weird. Like to family, I can lie. Lying to your family is like a second nature, but I have trouble doing it in real life. I'm just like I can't physically lie to people. So my like extreme honesty also gets me in trouble, and I'm just like. Well, and trying to be your own critic is just really hard. And if you're a solo YouTuber, unless you are like Markiplier, who is jacked, handsome, and probably has bitches in his bed on a daily basis, yeah, you seriously like I'd fuck Markiplier.
He wasn't always like that.
Exactly.
Wasn't always like that though.
But like he's look at him now. He's like fucking Jesus Christ. You could lick syrup off his abs and all that kind of stuff. But, like if you aren't what people find it right, if you aren't the social norm, so if you aren't fucking some sort of hipster dick with like, well, around here, if you're American, it's hipster dick. So like a lot of hair on top that's slicked back and nothing on the sides, wearing skinny jeans and a fucking denim jacket. That's the American thing that I've come to notice. If you're not a chav in England, which is kind of the norm, then you're fucked. So it's really hard to fit in because I look like some sort of fucking roadie from the 70s. Like I'm like, bring it in, like fucking Kisses on tour. I'm like that guy. I look like that guy. I don't look like fucking I wanted, So it's really hard when you're trying to sell yourself if you don't fit. If you're not, I keep saying the social norm, which makes me sound like a hipster dick, which is funny because apparently I am a hipster dick, though I'd rather kill myself. It's really hard to sell yourself if you don't have confidence in yourself, or if you don't fit into what people would want. You have to make them want you, which is the thing. They have to watch your video. If you're doing like a Markiplier thing with like torso and up. People have to be like, I want that. They're not gonna be like, what is this dude doing? He's funny, but he's like, what is that? You have to make them want you, which is really hard because I don't like people. So I'm like, you want me, but at the same time, I don't want you, and it's like it gets really weird.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Like with Markiplier, he was because I started watching him in his early days, actually on his first channel. That later got like blocked or banned or something. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he was just some dude who basically quit his job and started doing this like 3 videos a day or whatever. And he, like his way of promoting himself was literally I don't like because Mark Price is like a really nice guy, so I hate to say it, but he basically was begging people to subscribe, to share his videos, to like it, comment it, like a lot of YouTubers do. But he really did push it on his channel. He doesn't so much now because he doesn't need to. But yeah, in his early days, that's definitely what he was doing. And he just certainly didn't look as jacked and sexy as he does now. He was just like some geeky dude with glasses, you know, short hair. He was just another guy who just talked bollocks to himself basically for however long each video. But obviously because of his that level of you know, self-promotion, of pushing people to share and like videos, as well as his personality, because he did come across as a nice guy, you know, he's appealing as a person. That helped him obviously rocket up. And it's the same with a lot of other YouTubers. Their early days, they are completely different people visually to what they are now. Like KSI. KSI now is just, you know, again, jacked dude who looks really sort of chavvy, and you know, he's boxing some other YouTubers now and things like that. But again, his early videos, he's some, you know, kid with really shaved head and glasses and goofy teeth and that, playing FIFA in his bedroom. You know, he was a geeky, nerdy dude. But
I just
again,
realised, I just said who's KSI? If anybody on my channel is like a big fan of this dude, they're going to be like, what do you mean who's KSI? I'm like, I think this is the problem I have. I don't keep up to date with things on YouTube. Like, I still remember Tobuscus.
Yeah, see, I know some of the big names from years gone past, but I couldn't tell you the big names of today.
Nope,
like,
not a clue.
The only reason KSI and Markiplier I know, because they were big in early days of YouTube, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And PewDiePie, but I couldn't tell you sort of who's the biggest thing, you know.
Nope, not a clue.
Who's those brothers? Those absolute dickish brothers.
What do they do?
That KSI's fighting one of them. Ah, fuck.
What are they, YouTubers?
Yeah, they used to be on Vine apparently, and then they left Vine and then went onto YouTube and immediately got millions of subs. I can't remember their names now. They were rap battling each other to try and get subs and.
I thought you meant like epic rap battles. Then I was going to say I remember.
No, not epic rap battles. Hang on, let me see.
Quick Google.
That's it. The Logan Paul and.
You mean stupid idiot who goes into? Disney Channel kid.
Yeah, those two. Yeah.
Logan retard and his brother retard. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Did I use the word retard? I realised that's not politically correct, but you can go shove it up your arse, SJW, you dickheads.
Yeah, that's it. Logan and Jake.
Is he fighting those two idiots?
He's fighting one of them. I think he's fighting the older, bigger one.
Oh, Suicide Forest guy.
I don't know. They're pretty much the same sort of person. Yeah, they're both mentally disabled idiots. Yeah, in short. One's slightly cooler than the other, I think.
No, they're both just weird, degenerated pond scum that seem to have just fornicated with little kids and developed some sort. See, they came from Disney, so fuck them.
That's the problem with YouTube. As much as it allows, anyone to be a creator, it allows dicks like him to be a creator.
Yeah.
But because of it gives him an audience, which. It's just a shame that YouTube allows these people to have a platform, and it amazes me that they do get such a platform. And then I realise, well, hang on, who is their audience? It's young kids. It's influential or easily influenced people who haven't really developed their own tastes yet and are doing so at this moment. And so they see this stuff is popular, KSI and the Paul brothers or whatever, and then they're going to aspire to be like that. And so it's like a parasite. It spawns more of itself. So then YouTube fills up with more of them, and it's a real shame that YouTube lets this kind of thing happen by just saying, "Oh, our algorithm sorts it out," and that we don't really know how it does it. It just does it. Well, maybe you should intervene, but I don't know. They let them get away with it because it makes them money at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we said earlier. Like YouTube used to have some class to it, and now it's just full of these moronic blatherings.
I don't think it's ever had class.
Oh no,
I think that's a.
For a year, YouTube had class. Where it cut out, I was talking about the fact that YouTube used to have. I keep saying class. YouTube used to have people who wanted to make decent content, and now it's just full of people like Logan Paul who, as I mentioned before, I had to edit this podcast, which is the first time I've ever had to edit this podcast. But what I told you was I, I can't get invested in fucking any of the videos that go like. I'm still with Philip DeFranco because he gives me news. I'm still with like a couple of them. I don't. It's I can never get into the new shit. Like I'm not a FIFA fan, so I can't get into the people who play FIFA gaming. I'm not much of a Fortnite fan. I used to play it like religiously, but like I'm not one of the guys who's like, look at all these glitches I can do and stuff. I'm like, oh, who gives a shit? Just play the game. And then like Logan Paul has absolutely no content whatsoever. It's just videos of him going bro and like punching through walls or. And I agree with this one. This is the one I can get behind. But him setting fire to stuff in his in his fucking pool because I'm a bit of a pyromaniac. That's the only thing I can get behind. But him going, we're gonna walk into a suicide forest and try and film some dead people. It's just like he fucking stupid.
But I think YouTube's always had both the crap and the good content.
Oh yeah.
To me, this is nothing different. I mean, it's changed. Like the crap content would have been like. Back in the day, people's really old mobile camera phones, like filming their friends, like doing stupid shit, and then the good stuff would have been like, I don't know, sort of the early days of Philip DeFranco and all the others. Now everything's you still get your shit. It's just probably more popular, but you've still got your good stuff as well. It's just probably a little more niche. Like, I mean, for example, Casey Neistat. Really good content, makes really good stuff, and he's popular. I don't know if you're a fan of him.
He's the guy with like the weird face that looks like it's squished up against a window, and he does like skate.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, right,
that guy. Yeah, with the sunglasses and that. Yeah, like he does occasionally he'll do like videos that go viral where he like goes snowboarding on a drone and stuff like that.
I watched his.
But then,
what was it? Going around. It was the Halloween one where he went around New York City on a Star Wars speeder bike. Like. I watched
that's the one. Yeah, they do a lot of things like that. Yeah, but yeah, he does daily vlogs as well, and I'm probably. I mean, he's recently changed the format, but like for the period of he's doing these daily vlogs, I was like hooked onto everything he was doing. It was really good content, and it was still popular as well. And it's those sort of things that I think YouTube should be promoting more, because it's clearly not. It's not just feeding like this sort of it's a mob mentality, I think, a lot of the time as well. Again, with the KSI and the Logan Paul things, it's like what was supposed to be a community is now a mob, and like they feed each other on this sort of like bro and all this shit, and it's sickening, because then it does make the content crap because it's just repeating what they do. But that's the problem with YouTube, is that you can't expect a creator to do the same thing over and over and over again and still be relevant. So they have to change what they're doing. But then, if they do change what they're doing, a lot of their core audience go, well, I don't like this new stuff. I want the old stuff back. But if they kept doing the old stuff, people would get bored and leave. So you got to give them some like leeway in terms of content they create. But I would. Back to the original point, I would definitely not say that YouTubers was classy back in the day. I think it's always been terrible and always been good at the same time.
Yeah. Just
depending on what you find, basically. And you do have to dig sometimes through the crap, and then recommending the same type of crappy videos, clickbait and all that shit, is a shame, and it is annoying that they allow that algorithm to continue. So I think that's something that's the key issue, is they've allowed their algorithm to let clickbait work, which showcases the crap videos more than the good stuff. I think that's the issue, really.
Well, right. I mean, we're gonna have to bring this to an end pretty soon. But what I've kind of, as you were talking, I just kind of had this weird kind of realization. So I'm a big fan of. And I've completely not forgotten his name. Tom Ridgewell, Life of Tom and all that kind of stuff. The bloke from like Manchester.
Tom Ridgewell rings a bell.
Tomska.
Yeah.
Oh shit! No, not Tom Ridgewell. The other one, Tom Cassell. That's it. Tom Cassell. Cassell does Life of Tom. I think it's 2 L's. He does Call of Duty videos, and he's got 2 channels. He's got Life of Tom, and he's got this other one.
Is it the Syndicate Project?
The Syndicate Project. That's it. Syndicate. There we go. I knew I'd remember his name.
I know the name, but I've never watched anything of his.
Well, I don't know if it's just something that he's going through recently or what, but like I've been a fan of his since he started, because he started as just a little dweeby kid who worked at McDonald's, right, and he made Call of Duty videos, and he gained traction really fast because he did Call of Duty when Call of Duty was a big thing, and he shot up, and I think he suffers at the minute from I don't know what to call it. I'm going to call it like fame syndrome, because when he started off, he was humble and he was like, you know, he was a decent kind of guy, and I don't know. I've just kind of found myself in his videos recently going, why are you being such a dick? And you know, some people have called him out on him, but like the mob mentality that you've noticed have just gone, no, he's not being a dick, he's just being Tom. But I've noticed shit that since he's gained money and fame and power, he's kind of, you know, he does this thing. He does things that you just wouldn't fucking do in real life, and I'm like with his family and I don't want to diss on Syndicate because I like Syndicate. Syndicate can be a decent dude. He's like fucking awesome with, you know, disabled kids and like charities and shit. He's a dope ass dude, and he comes from humble backgrounds. But every now and then you just see one of those really dickish moments creep into like his vlogs and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can like this guy. And you never notice that back in the beginning. Yeah. But as he's grown and he's got more power and more famous and all this kind of stuff, like he has the ability to get away with being a dick, basically. So like he could tell a story. It's like the thing where, you know, fucking Logan Paul walks into a forest, films a dead guy, and then goes away for like a week or so, comes back and goes, oh yeah, I'm so sorry and shit, and gets a massive boom in subscribers. And so it's like, being a dick gets you shit, but it's utterly fucking pointless, because being a dick will achieve you absolutely nothing in life. Even if it gets you money, fame, and power, you're still gonna die a lonely, lonely man. Which it's fucking going dark there, but like
rich lonely man though.
Who gives a shit? You're still gonna die a lonely man, and if heaven and hell exist, you're fucking going to hell. But it's like it's the one of the things that kind of holds me back, because I know I can be a dick now, because like where I live, I'm surrounded by dicks. I'm surrounded by chavs and all this kind of stuff, and I can't fucking stand chavs, because they're always walking around with their hands down the pants going, hey, fucking, you want some of this love and shit? And I'm like, I fucking can't stand that crap. Like, I would snap the neck of every chav I could possibly do if it was legal, but fucking. So I've kind of adopted this.
Mate, don't kill him. Put him to work.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll put him to work.
Slave labour.
But
get some use out of him.
I've had to adopt this kind of like second skin kind of dick mentality, and like when I meet decent people, I have that trouble of going from dick to nice guy, because you know dude, I don't trust anybody. Fucking not even my family. I'm used to people fucking turning on you like that because of fucking chavs. But like.
You sound suspiciously like a bit of a psychopath or a sociopath.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're a bit of a pyromaniac. You hate everyone. It's a bit suspicious.
It's like getting Dr. Phil in this shit. But like, when it comes to YouTube, I'm kind of really suspicious of if I do get big, and I do get famous, and I get like, you know, millions of subs and fucking millions of pounds, and like fucking I know instantly I'm going to build a house that has a fucking throne in it or some shit like that. Like. Fucking, I know I'm going to go crazy, which is something I don't want to do, because I like myself at the minute. I like, other people might not like me, but fuck them, I like me. And if I get money, fame, and power, like, I don't know if I could trust myself. Like, I'd have to live in the middle of nowhere, so you know, fucking have a decent internet connection so I can upload it. But I'm not around people to be a dick, and like, I'm not like, today I was fucking. I snowboarded a helicopter down a fucking mountain. I'm like, you know, I'm look at my new Gucci bag or anything like that. I'd never turn into that. But there's always this nagging in the back of my mind every time I record a video, which is like, it holds me back in my potential, I think, because I'm like, I know for a fact I could do some decent shit. Like, I've got the skills to do some decent shit, but I've got this really weird, I don't know, I'm going to call it YouTuber syndrome, where if I do get fame, power, and money, I'm just going to turn into a massive selfish dick, and I don't want that, because I kind of like who I am, and like I've noticed as I upload videos, and you know, this entire video was supposed to be about being a small YouTuber, which I guess it kind of has been in a way, but at the same time we've kind of dissed on YouTube as a thing. But,
yeah, this became the shit on YouTube episode, really.
I noticed, like, when I began, I was timid. I was, like, not really sure of myself. Now, in my podcasts, I'm kind of... the podcast is 100% me. Like, I'm raw as fuck in this podcast. I don't hold anything back. When I do some of my other videos, I'm like... I don't want to say 50%, but, like, I hold myself back. And I've got a little book that I write everything down in. So when I do my Simply Awesomes or my videos, if I want to talk about something specific, I'll jot it down. And on my iPad, I have a list of songs that I want to make because I fucking love music and I want to make some songs. But like I'll read you the names of some of the like you'll understand why I haven't made any of these, because until I can get to the point where I just stop giving a damn about what people think and make content for myself. Like then I will make these things. But here are a couple of the song names that are songs I want to make. The first one is "The Only Seat Free Is My Face."
The only what?
The only seat free is my face.
I like it. Yes.
Yes. The second one is "Gangbang with Jesus."
I like that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. "Hot Chicks Rock, but Geeks Suck Cock." Oh god, "Play with Me While You Rub That." See, some of these get really weird. Like, "You Have a Big Heart, but your booty's bigger."
These are like the B-sides to your rock album.
But they're not like, all of them have a meaning. They're not just, I want to make stupid sexual pun like songs. Like, "I only like your butt, so shut the fuck up." Like.
There's that Russian lesbian punk band called Clitoris All Sorts.
Exactly. Like, I mean, if you know who Ninja Sex Party are.
Oh yeah, I know Dan Avidan.
Yeah, Danny Sexbang and
Ninja
Brian, who, funnily enough, is a fucking physicist, which still makes me giggle.
I know, it's funny.
But those are the kind they brought the 70s and 80s back, which is fucking on my microphone. But they brought the 70s and 80s back, which immediately was like gave me a hard on for their music and stuff. And they're just like, they don't care about the shit that they make, and that's what, like, the song titles I just named right there aren't all about, you know, fucking and shit and like banging, and basically they've only got those stupid names so I could remember them, and the fact that part of the song will be about, you know, stupid sexual innuendo stuff. Because disclaimer, I love sex, man. Like, sex and sexual stuff.
Just in case there's any ladies listening out there, I do like sex. Just in case you're interested.
But no, like I'm not like, you know. I have this weird fascination with it. Like, I'm like, it's fucking awesome, but it's also a biological function. I go from like horn dog to scientist in 3 seconds flat. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. But then again, maybe if I hypothesize this area, and which is kind of what made me want to like write those song names down, because I just love stupid shit like that. Like, I don't give a fuck, and it's like, I love it, but at the same time, I don't want to do them because I know there'll be fucking people just coming from far and wide to go, your songs are misogynistic and shit. And I'm like, who gives a fuck? But I can't be like that, because in the fucking universe we exist at the minute, if I was to walk down the streets and like, all my female friends I call tuts, right? I call tuts, dollface, baby doll, all that kind of stuff, because I love them. Like, the meaning of the word has changed over the years, but I still call, like, if I date someone, it's, you know, sexy, or like, I'll never use someone's proper fucking name, and I'll call it to dudes as well. Like, I've got no double standards. But if I was to walk down the street, I'd just like nod and wink at a woman. If it's the wrong woman, I will be fucking crucified. Which is kind of why I don't want to make those fucking songs, because you'll get SJWs crawling out of the fucking woodworks going, you can't sing about that kind of stuff. Which, as a small YouTuber, let's see how I'm tying it back in. As a small YouTuber, would kill me.
I think you can, as long as it's made obvious that it's all tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, satirical.
It's satirical, yeah. Because you'll always get the sort of the social justice people, like, any issue that they disagree with, they'll attack, even if it's obvious that it's done,
even if it's
satirically or whatever. Yeah, because some people don't sit back and think rationally or listen to the other side of things. Which is why, like, it makes me laugh when certain comedians, like, there are some that are just dickish, But there's some, like Ricky Gervais is a perfect example. He makes jokes about, you know, everything pretty much, like Holocaust, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, which, right, I'd like to point out, if you can't laugh about mass murder that happened, what, 60 years ago? 70 years ago? And you're like, see, one thing about Ricky Gervais I'll say I like is every time, or people, no, I'll say it about everybody, right? Everybody who makes a joke about the Holocaust always does the too soon kind of thing, which is like, people need to grow the fuck up. Yes, it was a bad thing, but you can joke about it, man. I mean, 9/11 happened, and the next day people were making jokes and memes about that shit, and nobody was like, you can't fucking do that. Make a single joke about a woman or the Holocaust or black people, you're fucking dead.
The thing is, though, with that, if you do make fun of a victim, then you will automatically get that kind of influx, you know. And I see with that you are playing with fire, but there are certain subjects where if you don't make the victim the subject of the joke, as in like that you're not targeting them, you're targeting the people that do victimize them. If you get what I'm saying there, then that's fine. But people don't necessarily or aren't intelligent enough sometimes to realise that the victim there isn't the butt of the joke. It's you know the other party, as it were.
Well, it's like Monty. Right, one of my favourite behind the scenes kind of Monty Python things was they went to Germany, right, and they through the entire story they're all like, oh yeah, you know, they're trying to poke fun at the fact that Germans don't laugh about, you know, Nazis and shit, which Nazis are pretty damn funny. Crazy suicidal people, but Nazis can be pretty damn funny in like the right context. And they wanted to go, like, they pulled up to Auschwitz as it was closing, right? And they were like, could we go in just real quick? And they tell the story of, like, the guard was like, oh, no, sorry, we're closing up. And one of the guys, and I can't remember who it was, but one of the guys turned to one of his co-hosts and went, just tell them you're Jewish. That is see, that's fucking funny. But if you were to make that joke now, everyone would jump all over you, which is like, with YouTube, if you're small, you have to, like, there are a metric buttload of videos and like stuff, not just those songs, but other stuff that I want to make, but I can't make because I'm so small on YouTube that I have no influence. I have none of this kind of stuff that people would just crucify my channel to the point where
I think that would protect you, though. I think you're unknown and unheard of. I don't think anyone would take any notice. So you could make these jokes all you want. And again, as long as you make clear, the intention and the satirical nature of it, you'll be fine. So yeah, I actually think your size will protect you, or at least shield you from anyone noticing. That's going to take an issue with it.
At the same time, being a small YouTuber, you have to. You've got to walk a fine line. Like, you can make these jokes, and I've made a bunch of them through this thing, you know, like talking about making jokes about black people and SJWs and women and shit. Like, fucking people would jump on my ass for that. Not around here, because I live in a retirement community, so old people around here are racist as fuck. It's hilarious. But, like, as a small YouTuber, you have to walk the fine line of, like, making those jokes that are obviously satire, and then, see, like, I have no political affiliation, right? So I can make jokes about fucking Brexit or like other people's politics and all this kind of stuff. I love women, but at the same time, women can be crazy as fuck. So I can make jokes. Like, I'll make jokes about anything. I'll make jokes about people dying and shit and like death. And people are like, you can't make jokes about that. But like, you've got to be able to laugh at anything and everything you do, because it makes it a lot easier to deal with shit. And as a small YouTuber, if you make something and people start jumping all over it and like downvoting it and stuff, you have to laugh, right? You can't just be like, oh man, I've fucked up, I need to make an apology video and stuff. Unless you actually did something wrong, right? Unless you did like a Logan Paul, Suicide Forest kind of thing. If you just made a satirical joke and people are like, you can't do that, it's 2018, what are you talking about, right? Fucking, you just have to laugh it off, which is what I've had people coming up to me on like messaging me or putting in comments, and I've deleted the comments because I'm like, I don't want that shit on my channel in my fucking comment section. But I've had people coming up like, you can't do this and you can't say that, and like, I'll immediately laugh at those fucking comments, and I'll laugh as I click the delete button, and I'll continually laugh until they die and are buried in a shallow grave. But but like, you have to walk this fine line as a small YouTuber, as like, you can make the jokes, like the guy in the background who's hammering because that's funny. But you can make these jokes, but you have to know where to draw the line. And as you get more famous and gain more influence, you can push the boundary a bit more. But it's being a YouTuber right now is hard, is what I can say.
I mean, when we started the channel, I said to Richards, my co-host, I said, you can say what you want, you can talk about anything you want, you can make jokes about anything you want, as long as you can back it up. As long as you're willing to stand by what you've said and stick to your guns, you can say what you want. And we've done that, and because it is a light-hearted show. It doesn't get, occasionally it gets quite political, but we're on opposing sides. I would say I'm much more left-wing and he's much more right-wing. And so when we do have debates on stuff, we do have differing opinions, and I will often, complain about this, that, and the other, and he'll have a completely opposing argument, which I think helps us, because then that stops anyone attacking us, saying, "Oh, they're just another liberal channel doing this." I'm like, well, actually, no, he's completely disagreeing with me here. But it never gets serious. It never gets offensive. It never gets like we're trying to actually, have a go at anyone. It's just like we're voicing our opinions and stand by them. And then most of the rest of the time, it's just really immature penis jokes. Normally, it's what it always comes down to eventually. But yeah, I think as long as you can stand by as long as you're willing to stand by what you've said, you can say what you want. But just be aware you're going to get criticism from any side, really, because people do have different opinions. Yeah, and as long as you don't do anything illegal or say anything that's going to be like that, you'll be fine. You might get some hate, but things pass. You know what I mean? And you actually, the people that agree with you, if you back up what you've said and stand by what you've said, will support you in that. They won't sort of, if you go back and say, "Oh, I'm really sorry, this, that, and the other," then actually that makes you look like
a dick.
You know what you were doing was wrong, or what you said was wrong in the first place.
Yeah. So why make the joke?
Yeah, but whereas if you actually say something in earnest, or it's a bit ignorant, and you go, "Actually, no, I didn't realise there, the first more depth behind it. I didn't realise what that meant." And do apologise for that, then I think people will accept that. But if you're just trying to offend anyone, then you will offend someone. But if you're not actually trying to upset anyone, then you'll be fine. It's because everyone has opinions which will offend someone else. But if the intention isn't to offend, it just happens to do so, you should still say your opinion as long as you're willing to back it up.
Yeah, I mean, I've managed to get a couple of subs from people who have gone, "I fucking hate your videos because of this," and then I'll have a conversation with them, and they'll be like, "Oh, I actually never thought about that." Like, people who just immediately think you're trying to do something, and then jump on, like, "You're a dick, what are you talking about, you know nothing about this," and then you sit down and have not sit down physically, but you have a chat with them in like comments or fucking through messages and stuff, and you have a conversation, not "I'm right, you're wrong, shut the fuck up," unless they are wrong, then shut the fuck up. But but like that kind of stuff, like I've gotten a couple of subs that way from people who've gone, "Do you know what, I actually see your point of view now," and like I haven't changed their minds, but I've made them see the other side of things and stuff, which is funny because most of the stuff I talk about is just dick jokes and shit, and people are going, "You can't say dick jokes," and I'm like, well, I have a dick, I can say dick jokes, and they're like, "Do you know what, that's a good point." Like that kind of shit happens. But I think to round out the podcast, because we're practically over an hour now, I think, but to round it out, I think five best tips for people who want to either start YouTube or people who are in YouTube but aren't seeing any growth on their channel. I want you to give your 5 best tips.
Oh, bloody hell, you could have given me some time to prepare.
Oh, no. Fucking, you said before we recorded this that you wanted, like, on the fucking spot questions, so there you go, on the spot questions.
Alright then, well, this isn't technically a question, this is a request.
Alright, okay, how about, I'll rephrase it then. What would you say the 5 best tips that you could give to people who are wanted to get into YouTube or are already in YouTube but want to see some growth?
Well, actually, I have the perfect answer right here for you. I would say the first thing is just do it. The first thing you can do is just start. No matter how bad your equipment, if you have a laptop or a computer that has access to YouTube, you have something you can use. It can be really bad, but that just limits you. But it doesn't mean it stops you. So if your laptop's 10 years old and can only play Empire, whatever, then play that. You know, if just whatever you can do, start there, and you'll only improve from there. Next thing I'd say would be I'd say just keep going at it and practice. You know, if it's editing, if your weak point is your editing, practice your editing. You know, the more you do it, don't go out your way and make it a chore. Don't make it a job because you're not going to enjoy it. But the more you just do it, the better you'll become anyway.
I feel like some of these are targeted at me, you bastard. You're talking about shitty computers and editing. Wait, this is the stuff we're talking
about. Well, you know, I'm just trying to help your channel move along. You know, it's alright. You should take this advice on board. I don't know, mate. Are you fucking
Number
5?
Three.
Jesus Christ!
No, come on, come on. You've got 3 more to do. So
if you, I get right. All right, this is a good one.
Okay.
Try different things until you find your strength. So, with me, I actually did try doing like Let's Plays on my own, and I watched them back, and they were cringy as fuck. So I just but I kept going because you know, there's no point stopping because I didn't succeed straight away. I just kept going, and eventually I found something that worked for me. A friend came over, we recorded something together. I thought, this is really funny. This is something that I could work with, and so I found a strength, and we've ran with it since. So keep going until you find your strength. Don't be afraid to try new things. That's your 3rd one.
That's 3.
Bloody hell, 4th one.
See.
Don't expect.
It.
Right, I got another one. Don't expect perfection when you start. Right. You'll improve over time. That's kind of similar to 2.
That's a good one.
Like, because you said you were wanting to set up in terms of channel art and intros and all that for your cosplay channel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you wait, it will never get done until you've got it perfect. And there is no such thing as perfect in any kind of, you know, video editing specifically or anything like that. So just start and, you know, but improve what you can over time. So equipment was a good example there.
Mm-hmm.
I started with a budget of 0. I now have, you know, a good microphone, a good laptop, a PS4, and the capture software and hardware needed for it. So we've built up over time. It's taken 2 or 3 years, but we've built up over time like a good setup to work from. But that's only because I've improved things over time, and admittedly I've had to save money to do so. But if you're willing to invest in it, then you'll improve your thing, and then hopefully it'll come back. And I'd say the last thing, I don't know on the last one. I don't know. I think I would say some kind of promotion, but I haven't now figured out how to promote ourselves yet. Really, that's the problem, because I paid for it at the start, like to advertise on YouTube videos.
All right. Well,
while we had some success, it didn't really work out as great as I'd hoped.
I'm going to steal your number 5 spot then, and I'm going to say, make friends. Like a lot of the stuff I got out through make friends on like Discord and shit. So when I started off, I'd upload a video and that was it. And then I discovered Reddit. So I went on Reddit and I started, you know, I've commented on other people's things. I've posted my own stuff and they've come back to me and I've met some friends that way. And then I got Discord and I'm in, you know, I post my videos in 4 servers. 4. I post my videos in 4 other Discords that have got like a couple of hundred in each, if not 1,000 in each. Like ESO, who does Fallout stuff, so like Fallout 4 and all that kind of stuff. I can post my video in his, and he's got like a couple of 1,000 people in his Discord, and I know a couple of people. I know like, you know, maybe 10, 15 people I would call friend or friendly in that server. Plus, like, I've got my own, I've got my own Reddit, my own Discord server, my own Discord, which is for Fallout 76. And like in my Fallout videos recently, I won't say it's a content promotion kind of thing, but like in the Fallout 76, Fallout Vault 76, sorry, the Discord I'm in right now, the guy who runs that has, you know, he said, I will post your videos if they're all about Fallout and stuff. So I was like, you know, that's dope as shit. So, you know, I kind of got a promotion kind of thing that way with it. So, you know, go out, make friends. Like I've made videos for companies before. Like outside of YouTube, I've made videos for companies, and inside YouTube, I think I've made 2 for like people who wanted to promote the games, and like they're, you know, like, here's a free CD key. So like make friends and like go try and go find, like, you can't just sit on your ass, which is what I did at the beginning of YouTube. I just sat there and expected it to come to me. You've actually got to go out and, like, network and find it and make friends. Like, that's how I got my, my graphics card for my PC. I had a friend who just happened to have a spare graphics card. If I wasn't friends with that guy, he was like, he'd never would have fucking given me the graphics card for free. He would probably be pay for it or never even mention it in the first place. Like, I know, my Captain Beardy logo, like the guy stood on top of the PC, who you can see in this chat right now, and is on the screen right now. A friend made me that. Like, it just a dude who likes doing art was like, I was like, I need a new logo, but I suck at fucking art. And he was like, all right, I'll make you something. So, making friends normally ends up to, leading into you being able to make your videos better. Like, I mean, I've got a friend who loves not you, but I have a friend who loves doing editing, who gives me pointers on how to do editing. I was like, that's fucking dope as shit. And then, it's...
What do you mean, not me? Am I not your friend?
Yeah, you are my friend, but, like, I've got a friend who fucking, like, ages ago was like, here's some pointers on editing. Like, it was just... Making friends who are nerds, basically, always seems to pay off, because they're always a nerd in a specific location. So, an editing nerd, or a visual nerd, or, like, a fucking... my best friend in real life, so like the guy I will see on a daily basis, works for I'm not going to say who he works for, but he is a fucking guy who makes like ads that you see on Google and shit. And I'm like, can you give me some pointers? And he's like, yeah, here you go. And I'm just like, yeah, dope. Like, I've got some inside information now. Like, it's just like, if you sit around and expect it to come to you, it'll never happen. If you go out and you make friends, you will get the information you need. So I'd say for number 5, go out and network, socialize, make friends, and you'll grow.
Yeah, I'm going to extend number 5 and say in most things in life, actually, just the more people you know, the more avenues you have to get stuff done. So in terms of, I've just sort of started freelance video editing as a job now. And I've found that finding work is actually quite difficult. But the ways I have done is actually just by meeting people, by going to networking events, and often just by talking to people that you just happen to be around at the time. Often you'll end up just being in a field where they might be able to assist you in something, or you assist them, and hopefully get some help achieving whatever you're trying to as well. So that's a good one, not just for YouTube, but for life as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, for when I finally get cosplayed off, the fucking ground and running, I have a sexy ass bitch of a friend, and people will jump on me for saying sexy ass bitch, but wait until you see her. She is a sexy ass bitch. She got a fat ass, but dad ass. But I was talking to her, and I was like, she does cosplay stuff, and she's like networked her cosplay, and she started cosplay this year, and she's already getting some like fucking dope ass offers coming through for cosplay. And I was like, I found her through Instagram. Like, I was like, that's a fucking awesome cosplayer. It's like, and we started talking, exchanged Snapchats, and like I was like, I'm doing this, I plan on doing this cosplay thing. Do you want to like be a part of it and give, because I'm a dude, right? I can't be like, women, when you make your cosplay, make sure you make it like this. I know fuck all about making women's cosplay. Like, the only woman cosplay thing I've ever made is a Poison Ivy thing, and that was like, that was fun. Because of the big ass titties it was covering, but like, I was like, do you want to be like a co-host? And if not a co-host, do you want to like do tips on how to cosplay for women? She was like, yeah, I'd fucking love to be a part of that. And I was like, do you want to model on it as well? And she was like, fucking yeah. And I was like, dope, I've got some sex appeal for my videos. but like I never would have met, cosplayed for me is something I wanted to do for like a year, I think, and it never got anywhere because I could never network with these people that wanted to do it. Like, it was either a bunch of blokes who were like, oh, you're a noob, why would I want to work with you? My skills are so fucking better than yours. Or like, just a bunch of people who were like, I'm not really sure about being on camera and stuff. I was like, yeah, I can deal with that. And then I met this chick, and she was like, fucking love to do it. I was like, sweet. And she doesn't live that far from me as well, which is dope as fuck. So, plan on working on that, but I never would have done that without networking. So, cosplay, it's going to be a thing now, and it's going to have some big ass titties and fat ass in it. So, apart from the fact that it's also going to be about cosplay and the fact that cosplay is dope as shit and, tips and how to make it, but, titties.
Yeah. So there you go. Network to get titties.
Networked. Well, if you think about it, dating is just networking.
Oh, don't even get me fucking started on
No,
dating.
let's not, because
That's it now. I'm done
yeah,
now.
we're done.
No, I'm
We're done.
locked in.
I think networking to get titties is the perfect title for this podcast.
Network for titties.
But I mean that's I think we've actually had, though we tried to start off doing a podcast about being a small YouTuber, we've kind of turned it into being doing a podcast about how to help yourself being a small YouTuber and to navigate the river of moronic filth that is the current YouTube upload crisis, where like all the Logan Pauls and shit. So I think we've done a pretty decent podcast today, and I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you agree with some of the stuff we said, go ahead, stick it in the comments. If you didn't, go ahead, stick it in the comments. We can have a discussion about it, a civilized discussion. Not, we don't want big ass titties, we want flat ass titties. None of that shit, because big ass titties are dope. But if you want to check out Twinn's channel, the link will be in the description down below, so go check that out as well. He does some dope ass videos. But until then, until then, it's goodbye from me. And apparently it's nothing from Twinn. Come on, man.
Oh, I thought I was supposed to wait for you to say.
No, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from you. Jesus Christ. Alright, it's goodbye from all of us, because Twinn don't want to be involved anymore. But it's goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from... damn it!
From you idiot. It's goodbye from both of us. And as always, as I say at the end of all my fucking videos, stay awesome.